creepy cloud smile. That's the easiest one I can do for you to look at, and you're gonna go to the left. And I'm a little shocked because sometimes when you review videos or you try and do videos, you don't know how far it's gonna go. But you'll see array legs next to this cloud, right? So rays come from the cloud, right? There's also another ray. So two ray legs. This ray looks like it's kicking something in the face. Now, this is very microscopic stuff too, so it's just the thing that's coming up with this that was shook me a little bit. This is what whatever Yoshi ever singing about an apple, he's talking about eating. He's talking about all kinds of crazy things. That pair of legs easily looks like a pair of boobs, which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy that Ray just makes a demi-kids kind of thing. But I'm about to show you something that's crazy about this picture. This picture is really weird. Really scary, but really weird. The droop eye is really good. That's why there's another Ray legs. So Ray likes to look like pubes, so it makes an eye and a mouth. Crazy, right? Of course. Now 7. 7 is 77. So 7 is to make a pair of Ray legs and pubes. They use 7. That's what the whole thing is with Fantasio. Gosh, I never thought of vagina. They want to make a vagina creature. What's this about with a tongue? What the heck's that about? That's down below the cape, and that's why tail was designed. But I guess when you flip a vagina over, that's an easy way to make cover. So if you're finding an easy way to make cover, that's pretty much how they do it. Now, this cape is crazy. I can't wait to get into the good stuff. Oh, look at that. Another pair of boobs example. There's going to be a lot of them. It's kind of creepy how there's this. The 13 code, I guess code 13 is to pay attention to the wide torso idea. And I guess wide torso is due to underwear. I have no idea what's going on with the underwear, but I still see pubes. I guess pubes again. This is really crazy, though. But I found it crazy that there's so many these things around this. Due to that, yeah, I guess so. They want to talk about how boobs can move around, like a Mario 64 character, a scary Mario 64 character. I don't know why right now I can't see this evil face I want to show you. It's a really hard one to see. What the crap is this? See more of the butts. The butts that hang in the air with the leg. So there's the legs being a far and wide right next to the vagina. Okay, so we're still on the cape. The cape's having some. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember how evil it is. It might be a butt. Yeah, so you got to flip the camera for this one. Yep. It's underneath the cloud. So underneath the cloud, it's still making a butt. You don't have to flip it yet, but it's still making a butt and a pair of legs. But when you flip it crazy and pretty good analogy, and a lot of things to that. And, of course you're going to be carrying your child, right? So Silent Hill Shattered Memories, when you're carrying the child over your shoulders, in the game, Silent Hill Shattered Memories. So that's why Silent Hill Shattered Memories. It's a pretty scary game, I like the little tooth idea that's down on this cape. This cape has some kind of weird tail tooth thing. That's pretty cool to look at. Of course, when you turn it into a vertical, it's gonna be like a face. Another creepy face. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a good one. It's like a two-face that you can flip over and make a different face out of. And this is her shoe. X's shoe. There's her butt Y. Okay, the butt Y is most likely to pay attention to the other pubes thing I showed you up there, which is really good. It's a Mario 64 pubes kind of thing. Youch. Boobs still look like that. That's a little odd. That's like the crop top that females wear. So they wear this top, and they got their boobs, like the kind of thing that a female wears, like a nightgown. Okay. That's all the way down near his legs, where the crotch area would be. I need to flip the camera over. So Elden Ring's a room of a 4. Like a nightgown room. A room that's so crazy. Nightgown room. 1, 2, 3. That's an emotional thing. And the somebody that wears a nightgown and is in like a small room. That's a pretty crazy thing too. Okay, so you see that, and then you're gonna go with. Oh wow, claw. That's pretty hilarious. Wisconsin's probably gonna be like, where'd you find that? Yeah, that's gonna be a crazy thing. They're a college football team. It's a pretty scary thing right here. Gucci. What the heck? Gucci in Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin and Gucci. That's pretty crazy to have on Wander. That's on the side. It's on the side. Go to his belt area. Go above to the belt area. Don't look at the talons. Go to the right. Yeah, we got a claw thing going on here. Which I know the claw is most likely to go into tail and big mouth. So that's the whole idea that they got right here. They also have an idea. A little bit of still an idea for 77. And, if you're going to make the Gucci symbol, 77 is a pretty easy thing to do with that. Yep, there's the other 77 using as a leg. So 77 likes to go into a leg, a sad eye, likes to go into a pair of boobs, likes to go into code 13 kind of boobs, fallen star boobs, all kinds of, maybe even a transgender boobs. So elongated face is really crazy. I guess elongated face is an easy way to make boobs. There you go for that. And then we're breaking down as many of this crazy stuff. Hey, look at, there's a pair of legs. That's so weird. That's like a vagina pair of legs. I have no idea what the heck that's about. Vagina looking like a pair of legs, and then like, oh cool, it's sickle cells. Alright. Age. So Mary's thing is she's dressed in black like Ray, of course. But her age can be used as like making such weird things, making mouths, making what I would call a dead leg female, but making an easy way to a dead leg female, but this whole age thing, I see it more as a uni right now, even though it's still an age, it's an age, but I still see it a little bit more as a uni for like a butt Y, because females have this underwear. So yes, females have different kind of underwear when they have like dead legs, like dead leg females, and they have this certain kind of underwear that they go and get, you know. This is all to the left side of the belt. And uni is really crazy. That's why I like paying attention to uni and butt wine. Whole entire things that you can get just from something so simple. Oh, look at that 1, 2, 3. That just looks really odd. What the heck is that? That's going back to the vagina. So up above the vagina, you have to turn the camera. Wow, that is such an odd VV. Oh my gosh, 3 V's. Jeez, why don't we have the 4th one? I guess the 4th one's supposed to be for stub arm or the boob, going back to the boobs. Maybe just to go back to the boobs. Yeah, a pair of boobs. Use a leg to make a pair of boobs. I guess so. It's pretty crazy. There's another 7. Wow, 7's part of like that's a 7V. That's a 7V. That's crazy. Okay, so the crazy idea is they have a 7V. That's pretty weird. What the heck is this? I like how that's like a stair. I guess uni wants to be a stair. Its mouth being a stair. Yeah, I could get back to the V, I guess. So I want you to get back to the V and get to another 7 idea. So 7 and V is just crazy, just crazy art styles. Just crazy ideas of... Eventually they want you to get probably back to the bra. Maybe it's to show the bra and the yeller. Show the yeller mouth. And like, so a belly button being a mouth. And like a bra, So, I found this thing so crazy. I found this like a creepy cartoon, you know what I'm saying? When I was looking at this thing, I was like, what the heck? But then, what the heck is that? That's so odd that they're just gonna, I do think mites do look like that. So that's going back to the belt. Can a mite fall on your belt? So it'd be like a foot, which would make sense too. Like a mite, maybe a sexual mite falls on water, but it's like he's being stepped on. I mean, I don't understand getting a sexual mite, but it's I think it's going more for raised legs, to just point out raised legs and a frown. And yeah, it's so crazy how legs do that, by the way. So my guess is this is a very creepy picture, down all the way down below the cape, right out by the belt. My idea behind this is they want to keep pointing this out. Well, there is this, I don't know if it's transgender or female, whatever it's supposed to be. But if you have a leg and then you have a foot, this whole I knew the bird was so scary in Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Missed Opportunity by Geoff. That's, wow, I like how it looks all together. That's why you switch the camera over. That's why I was talking to you about this thing that's just like a face. It keeps going into things. Ray standing in a mouth, holding a head up. That's pretty crazy, but the craziest thing about this is the foot and the leg there's a foot and leg. It's a yin yang, but it's also the white foot is is connected to another. And what's creepy is, I guess, when you're looking at somebody naked, there's this crazy thing between her butt. This crazy little idea thing. So it's there's an idea of being in a transgender butt, but there's just a theory on that. But it's just kind of the connection of the butt. And I don't understand what, maybe short legs, because short legs are dead legs, So maybe that. I mean, you do know that short women are getting screwed a lot too, so there's that. Pretty crazy. crazy ideas. Cartoon vagina, what the heck? Oh, hey, there's a 1, 2, 3. That's actually good. That's pretty good. I wonder why Yoshi would do his whole sit down things and all that, his ground pounds. Wow, that's really good looking. I like how that looks. It's really odd. It looks like a pair of boobs, but it looks like it could be a dick. It looks like there's the Ray. Yep, there's Ray's leg. Boot. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z. Boo was pretty crazy to look at. Yeah, he was. He's a pretty crazy character. I always felt like my brain was being screwed when I was watching the Boo Saga. I was like, what the fudge is this crap, man? Something about it was just like, I think people are missing the point. Everybody was focused on Frieza, so, but, the whole Boo thing was pretty insane. Fantasy. Fantasy is so crazy. I don't understand why the fantasies connect. This fantasy connection right here. Is there a flip over? I don't know if there's a flip over. Yeah, there is, surprisingly. That's so weird. Gosh, it reminds me of Smashed Head when you flip it over. This cape is crazy. Yeah, I expect to see Lex running around, and I'll tell you why Lex is running around. This is what I was trying to get into. So, yes, X has a vagina. Her vagina is like a mouth. So her vagina is like trying to be a mouth of scary Mario 64 creatures. And there's a crazy idea. There's a reason behind that. Well, vaginas do certain things when they get up. They get into what I would call a BP, kind of like a course. And that's where you would be rubbing up on the clit or something like that, So we're always going to have a penis piercing. And we're going to do that for default, right? But the crazy thing about this is, yes, it does look like a human, okay? Looks like a little short human. So I pay attention to short humans. Yes, you have a creepy face on it too, which does not help. Makes it more confusing, Shantae, yeah, she has a ponytail kind of thing. Her hair whips. I whip my hair back and forth, that kind of crazy stuff. But maybe, sometimes they make abstract songs, so you try and figure something out. There's a puzzle to certain songs that are made, right? What the heck is this? It's back to another butt thing. I got it. It's like to another butt thing, like carrying something, which is crazy. I guess a parallel. That's so weird. Paralegs. I understand it though. I understand paralegs wants to be kind of like the skin connection stuff. So I get what it's trying to do. They're trying to be really confusing with that. Yep, there's the one too. But the crazy thing about this is I'm trying to show you the layout too. See, pubes easily. What? You're easily gonna get from a vagina and a ball sack. Pubes, right? So, they're gonna have this. This is the whole 7 thing. The whole 7 thing's pretty crazy. 7's an easy way to get into default. But the absurd part is that they wanted to do all this due to the characters that they have. Yep, they want the boobs, because when the boobs run around, they want to have that. They want to have so it gives you, they use a vagina to give the emotion of these weird creatures that move around. And that's really weird. That's kind of like a weird formula to use. And of course it looks like uni, of course it looks like another uni thing. And having uni be like I don't know, like maybe they've had an idea to, of course, make a cartoon, and make a cartoon that's like uni, but like have a face that would like, that way people be watching a cartoon. That's the scary part. They want people to watch a cartoon, right? And if you look long enough at this, you will see the bare boobs idea for uni. This is why we're switching the camera over. You will see the boobs. This is the whole Sonic Superstars thing, okay? So, if I was to make scary eyes, I make eyes, but eyes is boobs, right? I could do that. I can make butt eyes, all kinds of things, right? And, wow, I can't believe Pyra's leg thing is in this with the Wisconsin thing. I cannot believe that. That is pretty crazy. Mithra's armor, and then you look at the Wisconsin hat. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? That's pretty crazy, pretty scary, yeah. Well, here's console N going into another ray. Using the console N is pretty crazy. I think I'm only using that due to so many crazy ideas. There's our Mithra. I get it. So eventually, if you follow this uni thing, underneath his armpit is underneath his. It's connected, basically. It's connected to his. I do like looking at it as a like bra and like a belly button. That's the way I like to look at it. And underneath it's Wisconsin, the claw, because you're gonna claw a naked female, right? This is really good for boobs. That's the whole point of this thing. It's a pretty good thing to tell you about boobs. It's a pretty good thing to tell you about hangers for Mario 64. So it's a pretty good little tutorial. I really like it. It's a good tutorial. Good tutorial into Ray also. But like what I noticed with this is it's trying its best. So eventually you go down his first shirt sleeve. You go down, and then you go down all the way to his hand, and you're gonna see Mithra. So it's an idea of like looking at Mithra and Pyra. And Mithra and Pyra are very scary. They're always scary. They're gonna be having Ray around them. They're gonna have Mario 64 around them. They're very creepy. That's why I love Xenoblade so much. I love how scary Xenoblade is. Now, if you choose to look at the sword, I will say it's crazy to think that this sword could have a little bit of a BP thing, but this sword could also probably have what I would call fleet legs. It could probably do that. And that would make sense why Wander carries his sword, and there'd be an idea of like a fleet legs due to he'd be carrying his sword. Of course, it's gonna do a Ray thing, but like him carrying the sword, the way he carries his sword, and the way you carry a sword, it's very easy to like hold your sword a certain way and make a bunch of flea legs. But what's crazy is when you're putting your sword down at an angle and showing you, right? So that's like brain food right there, because yes, you could take your sword down and still make it a pair of legs. You could do that. So that's why Mario 64 is such a beautiful secret. It's beautiful. It's just like above these secrets of Jack Claus's Mario 64 are crazy. Yes, you got another bra legs thing, fantasy, which is pretty crazy looking on his right leg. But it's the crazy thing I like looking at his leg is like I still cannot believe this leg has a claw hand on it, right? So it's a claw on the left leg. But if you turn around the camera, it will switch the angles. But you know what I'm saying, right? You'll look at these legs of these braces. You gotta look at the braces though. And this part. Look at oh my gosh. What the heck? They really like the butt ideas, how they can hide butt on his heel. So they can have like a butt riding a heel. Now, Yorda, you gotta remember Aiko. You gotta remember all the crazy things that was going on in Aiko. Remember, she'd be surrounded by a bunch of black spirit shadow stuff. She'd be surrounded by darkness. And, that's the crazy part, too. See, you could think about the perverted angle. That would be the thing. You'd be thinking about the perverted angle. But the creepy angle I think about is the reason that Famito likes showing pussy, he likes showing Fallen Star, he likes showing butts, he likes to show crazy things like that. Is there's a creature in Shadow of the Colossus that I look for. And it's a very scary creature. And I look for it due to is what I call, well, of course you're gonna have down. Now you see, that's the creepy thing. I guess they chose X to say down, because, up is pretty crazy too. Up is hover. Up is stuff on humans. See what I'm saying? So there's a whole entire idea that they've done with that. And that's the pretty crazy part. Now, yes, if you were watching a porn film, there is a crazy part of porn films too, by the way, where females lift their legs a certain way and they're getting drilled by it. So for this to be his heel thing right here, about his heel, it's probably talking about the crazy thing. That's why his heel's twisted. How creepy it is. Yeah, some females, their heels twist like in a weird way. It's almost giving you almost a hint as it could be a transgender, right? So like a transgender could have their heel be like, just going into an invert like a male, because a male has like a feet, right? And the feet could like be twisting a certain way. And since the foot is twisting a certain way, that's right? So like that would be the idea. And I also find it crazy that Wanderers, like in the chapter of walking, yes, the crazy thing that happens in human life is when you exercise enough, but you don't exercise properly, you do get kind of in this odd leg position. Also, yes, if we look at this, Water is doing what I call the slow walk, which is a good method. It's a comfortable way of walking. And he's doing that, saving energy kind of stuff. But I think the whole reason in the game they have him doing this is very scary. They want him to be about the secret, right? So everything that I think about is when he's putting his hand like that on his hip area, that he's reminding me of something scary with Shadow of Colossus' creatures. And that's why I like Side Order a lot. I like Side Order's box art, okay? We got a nice surprise from Side Order's box art on a Shadow of Colossus cape. So there's certain things I like to just pay attention to. And, we basically get to this point of like, what the heck is it? Oh yeah, sex is pretty crazy, both for a male and a female. I don't know about like the male penetration idea might be there too, due to what a male could be doing, penetrating the whole entire time. So there could be something on that also. The pointy butts down on the dirt, that's so weird. So if you go to his left foot and you go down, there's these pointy butt ideas. It's pretty crazy. The pointy butt is getting crazier and crazier and crazier with every video I look at. There's just a bunch of things on it. Nama. If we're gonna have N, if we're gonna have Colin Salt N, that's gonna be Nama, We're gonna have a lot of crazy things going on. That's why when I looked at Xenoblade, I remember this. I was looking at Xenoblade 3. I was just taking time to listen to what Xenoblade 3 was saying and some of the things. Easy leg I see here too, but I cannot believe the vagina thing is like a leg foot. That is so messed up. ripping off a leg, you'd probably have veins too, right? So veins, if a leg was ripped off of something, the veins. I can imagine a pair of legs, I can imagine the screams from like legs being ripped off, right? And bloody shoes, huh? See, it's such a wild thing, wild ideas. I think one of the things I could easily miss, I'm going to tell you this. So look at his leg again, look at his right leg, go to his shorts. You'll see the sharp ray thing, follow that, you'll see a mouth. You'll see things like 1, 2 eyes, right? And you know what I find crazy about this? Of course, rays to the side, so that's pretty creepy. But do you know what I find creepy about this? Is I need to pay attention to stuff like this. And sometimes I don't really pay attention to stuff like this. But I need to pay attention to this because due to Mario 64, and of course Shadow of Colossus. But I think I don't pay attention to this one as often due to, looking around at the other things. Wanderer's hand. Holy crap, Wanderer's tri-hand. Because he's trying to hold a sword. Yeah, he's trying. Yeah, he is. He's trying. Well, it gets to that point where we just get to here, right? Pubes on the neck, whatever. Ico, pubes on the neck. Ico is pretty crazy, yeah. Pubes on the neck, if a female was surrounded by a bunch of dark creatures, eventually you would kind of have this idea that she's gonna get pubes on her, right? But what's crazy about Yorda also is maybe Yorda wants you to get to this whole pube thing because dragon serpent wings, which that was why I was looking at the Pokemon stuff. Pokemon stuff is crazy. I'm always looking for lizards and dragons and these crazy ideas, but I'm looking for the lizards, that's what I'm looking for. And yeah, so I will tell you something before I go too. That has always been my whole thought. I showed you a human that's it looks like it's lifting up a butt. Link lifts up stuff, right? Link has different games where he lifts like a big rock also. But I want to say something to you. It is surprising to me. I understand people's love for Mario 64. I love Mario 64. I can get with it. But never does it ever surprise me that how much people don't really look at Zelda, because Zelda's what I call a beautiful, not beautiful, a sexy hell. You know what I'm saying? It's a sexy kind of hell. Zelda, if you ever feel stupid, play some Legend of Zelda. You'll realize how you can activate your brain a little bit, because Zelda will give you kind of an emotion to where you're looking at Legend of Zelda game and you'll be looking at it and you'll be like, wow, I never knew that video games were this crazy. But you have to keep looking at the Legend of Zelda game. Eventually a time where you're playing Legend of Zelda games, that's why I like to play the older games, is I like to just look at what kind of ideas are going on with this, because there's some really crazy ideas that goes. I remember one time I was playing Zelda. Nobody wanted to play Zelda. Of course, I was playing Zelda. And I was laughing so much at people because they didn't want to play Zelda. And I was like, yo, you need to play the Zelda Ocarina of Time game. Because as soon as I started playing the Ocarina of Time game, I had a sense of happiness. But I also had this sense of brain activity. And it was by far so cool. So that's what I think. I think of things that can change your life, and things that can surprisingly change your life is just take a little time to play some Zelda Ocarina of Time. You really don't have to do that much in Zelda Ocarina of Time, but just take a little bit, just a little tiny bit of your time, play some Zelda Ocarina of Time, walk around, do some things in Zelda, whatever it be. And after you've done enough of Zelda, something will click in your head that's not really clicking in your brain. Because they say that the neurons in your brain and your cells, they don't activate as much. But I find if you keep on challenging your brain, and you challenge your brain again, and then you challenge it again, then when you're not even playing Zelda, because you played Zelda, you're not even playing Zelda, something that's not normally clicking in your head will start to click in your head. So that's kind of like my whole idea behind like those video game stuff. I think it's really, I will be honest with you, I find it really creepy when I hear people talk bad about video games, because I'm almost like, I can get with some of the ideas you say, but not fully. That's the problem. I can't fully get with the idea, because rest is good, patience is good. Patience is good, rest is good, placement is good. I see the benefits that you can do with it. But it's like anything, anything you do in life, you can find a benefit of. But video games, I find like the hilarious thing I find about a video game too is it's kind of taking a puncture, making it not too hard of a puncture. And it's good to have like a puncture that's not too difficult. And that's sometimes why I pay attention to video games versus other things I can pay attention to. Is that if you do the same thing over and over again, like let's say you do solitaire, let's say you do card games like poker, or you do certain things. But the fact that you're not looking at something different, see what I'm saying? You're not looking through something that's different. That's a problem I have a lot of, because like it'd be like you'd be taking your life and you'd be constantly finding ways to look at food, right? You'd be taking your life constantly looking at drinks, right? You take your life and you do things in your life. You'd be like, wow, man. It's also kind of like a sample. You know what I'm saying? It's a sample of something else you can see. Maybe you even see a new way to exercise, But like, it's just like a little tiny example that's very nice to have. It's very nice to have like a little example. And as soon as you have like a little example like that, that's really good. Versus, socialization can be good, but like if you practice too much into socialization, that will be a very bad problem for you. You'll be thinking too much of what's coming out of your mouth, You'll be thinking of certain things that it's not going well. And it's nice to have a little bit of a break too, because sometimes when we have a break, we have better thoughts, We have better thoughts and better things can come about. And this is another one too. If I ever thought to myself, like I had to do studies for a class or work, right? I had to go study work or class. This was the craziest thing that ever happened to me too, by the way. I don't even know how I did this. I remember I got off my full-time shift of work. I get off my shift, I'm pretty tired. And the video game did something to me that made me so happy. And I laughed so hard at it, because I think it was just the idea of when I was playing the video game and I sat down and played the video game, because I just got Xenoblade Chronicles for the Wii, and I started playing Xenoblade Chronicles, and I was like, but there was something to it. Like, I was like, man, that repetition was brutal. So it was very nice just to play some Xenoblade Chronicles. Like, I thought, like, even, like, my energy-wise, would I have enough energy to go and do it, to go turn on the system, play the game. But when I got it all set up and I did the thing,
to it. That was so worth it. That was so worth it. Everything else that I could think about, girlfriend, certain little activities that were around, but like here I was like, this is pretty nice. I mean, if you're standing up for a long time, video game is a very nice thing to have. I mean, your cells are, only done by like certain things your cells can be done. So yes, your cells do need a relaxation period. And I think this one's a crazy one too. I think like difficult thinking after work activity, like let's say you're gonna go and cook or do something. I think after you've worked for a long time and you go do something really difficult, I do think that's all right. But I do think if you make a pace, let's say you made a pace, let's say you were walking for quite a bit and then you go and sit down, do something that's a little restful, and then you get back into that hard schedule. I think that's also a good thing. I think snacks are nice, like little snack ideas. I saw the funny thing about this world is that people, when I'm playing Splatoon, they like I'm like, but there's a reason I like my canned tuna. I like canned tuna due to like texture, taste, easy snack, right? Easy snack, texture, taste, and I like the idea behind tuna, just to have kind of like a break, because I've been seeing the flow of food, so I like a little bit of a break as to the other things that you could go and do and you could prepare. But if you think too much in preparing something, right? It's good to prepare sometimes. Sometimes it's good. There's a good example like drinks and that. But if you prepare way too much into your food, it's like, yo, what the heck did I just, right? It's like, yeah, I mean, I get there's an idea of preparing for your food and all that. But there was also this idea that I prepared too much for the food and 20 minutes went by. And I prepared way too much for that food. See, so it's just kind of like that, like simple changes in food eating patterns, and then realizing and talking to other people. When you talk to other people, and I can actually give you helpful advice on this. If you're gonna figure out your body, how much food you can chew, how much food you should chew, you're gonna have to figure it out somehow. Okay, somehow you're gonna have to figure out what's good for your body, what you should do for your body. Your body is unique and can be even different from my body. So that's why you have to figure out things. But one of the comfortable things I find is maybe when you're not doing so much, right, for the food, and then you're figuring that out, and you're figuring out the ideas behind that to be like, you know, and that gets you to drinking better food too, by the way. Like gets you just better constructive ideas, better drinks, better food, better choices, better everything, right? And the hardest thing in life is you're trying to find better things, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to find better little things. But the only way you can really do that, okay, is you have to think about time and you have to think about effort and the ideas, right? So I know there's a lot of things that are stressful that are going on because your body will be even maybe different from my body, and you'll have some kind of little different thing you're trying to figure out. You know, you'd be thinking about little ideas, right? There's all kinds of little ideas. I mean, that's the funny world. You know what's funny? I actually have liked this. Is what's so different. I like negativity a little bit. It's really hard to like negativity, but like I do, as I like observe it, I like the negativity because there's just like some kind of different art style to thinking about with when somebody says something negative to you, and you're like, oh, that's not too bad. It's all right. So some of the things it's all right. Sometimes you can find some things like that. But one of the things I was thinking about too was like production. Production's really a hard thing to think about. Like I think about like what is the production idea that I'm missing, right? That's what a lot of people be thinking, right? They be thinking about, some production things that they can make or do. And I think that's where I come to the conclusion. Like, it's just like, so many silly things. Like, I've never seen like, I've seen people who have opinions and they let their opinions control what happens. But one of the things I noticed, right, something about Pyra. When I first heard Pyra talk in a video game, when I was hearing this thing of Pyra talk, it was intriguing also in this way. Like, I was like, okay, different kind of talking from Pyra. Okay, this is going to be quite the lesson to learn about the way that the actress they chose to talk for Pyra, right? But the crazy thing is, I was patient and I would watch the cutscene and then I would like see what I could see from the cutscene. And one of the crazy cool things I saw from the cutscene, and that's what makes me laugh when people have these opinions on Star Wars, right? But when I watched the cutscene and I watched about her conversation, sure, there were some parts of Pyra like that were like, for my brain, it was just like, okay, what's going on here, Pyra? This is some pretty difficult stuff to pay attention to. But then I would listen to the conversation, and she'd get to her cup drink, right? The idea of her drink and cup, and that's like a little idea of how you should drink liquids, right? It's just like a little idea of how maybe you should like liquids, how you should think about your liquid consumption, right? And how you consume liquids throughout the day. And I was thinking, if you think about things that you're reviewing, maybe something's not going right the first time, try a second or maybe even a third time and try and think about something that you want to fit in between that. You know what I'm saying? Think about those things that you want to fit in between. Because, like, it'd be like something like, I love watching football, but I know I like watching football. But sometimes watching something else that I'm not watching, that's very good. That's a very good part. That's how you get to reading a book, right? Or that's how you get to, seeing something different or seeing a location, right? The only way that you get to that is you have to get away from stuff that you're comfortable with. There's stuff that you're really comfortable with, but that's kind of the idea you get. Even like, it's like, it's just movement. It's just like a lot of movement, and you can find yourself kind of like overthinking everything that's going on. And I really don't like the whole overthinking thing, because as good as TV shows can be, there's going to be also a time period where you're watching TV shows and they're not just going to be get into you. There is that time of period, and that time of period does count. So you like to get away from, what I'm saying? You like to get away from that also. Like, you don't want to get stuck to where you're at that spot where you're like you're a little sad. See what I'm saying? Because people can get sad if they keep watching the wrong kinds of forms of stuff, right? So if it came to like, you had a movie, you had a book, and you had a video game, like, to me, that's the funny thing I would say. I would say like, okay, that's good that you have these forms, but there's going to be other forms that are right. There's going to be other forms you're going to have to pay attention to. Just not to go crazy, not to go crazy. You may have a passion for books. You may have a passion for literature, film literature, but you're going to have to figure out what's not clicking, right? As soon as you figure out what's not clicking, it's going to come to you. It's going to come, and it's going to embrace you, like actually embrace you in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Embraced. It's gonna come into you. It's gonna come into you, and it's like, sometimes I'll talk about a Yu-Gi-Oh video. I'll go on YouTube. I'll talk about a Yu-Gi-Oh video. I'll see where it can go. Sometimes it can go somewhere. Sometimes it can't. But when I figure like that it's kind of like a different thing for me right now, like where I'm just figuring out something. So I think with this video, I could be talking a lot in this video, but I need to say this about this video too, is what I wanted to try and talk about with this video was like, I was thinking, because currently we have these new products coming out, right? So Crossovers is coming out next month. And people literally have a pre-prep plan for me because they think I'm going to be playing ranked 4 kind of idea because I really do like the ranked engine kind of ideas. But I will say that this set for TCG is kind of like, it's just a cool thing to look at, which is also cool. It's a very cool thing to look at and observe. Because guess what? Everybody right now, because I know people love entertaining stuff, I find it really odd that you have a bunch of people who want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! But I find it very odd. Ban list is right now what needs to happen. That's it. The ban list needs to happen, but we're not. I don't like crossover being with no effective ban list for Yu-Gi-Oh! Like as an organized card game. If it comes to people who like organized events and that they want the event to be organized, but I just don't see it, And winter time, because we know it's winter time. But I'm kind of like, this product came out this month. Just seems like market right now, right? That's the problem I have with it. It just seems kind of like a market right now. And there might be something around it, though. That's what I think is cool. I think there's something around it. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a positive way of looking at it. Maybe for once, people are going to have strategy again when the set comes out. So maybe that's going to happen. But that's what I'm thinking about, right? Oh, speaking of which, furniture. I really am going to pay attention to furniture. I'm going to get better with my furniture stuff. Paying attention to furniture ideas. You're going to figure out why I'm paying attention to furniture. Furniture's quite the character. It's quite the character. I'm paying attention to furniture ideas. Lofts, right? Just playing some Spyro, but like lofts. Like I'm just going to figure out what's going on in furniture. You're going to be surprised when I'm trying to look in for furniture. I'm trying to look at different activities. You'll see.